computer's being a bit wonky at the moment. I'm kind of surprised that I'm doing this one. Done for you today. It's been, you know, Christmas, not as busy as some. Although I do wonder, some people only celebrate with one group of people at a time. Well, the ones I was with earlier today didn't. They celebrated with somebody else in the evening. So, um, lots of them. Yeah, it was so cool. Anyway, I just wanted to do a short one. I'm just looking at my device, if my other device, to see if it will behave enough for me to put this in the scroll for the scrollers, or both. Will it behave enough, and can I find a free tab to do it in? Um, and it looks like maybe yes to both. Maybe yes to both. It's getting ever closer to bedtime. At the moment, my sinuses aren't that sore, so I want to appreciate that. Um, I say as I clear my throat. I was just having. Sorry about that. That wasn't a matter of needing to be plugged in. That was a matter of I hit something and it came back and there's somebody right here. So I don't know if you're seeing the title or not. I'm going to try and put it there for the scrollers. The person left. Um, so, as some of you will know, I have a lot of loved ones in heaven. And one of them, or two of them actually, it's almost a year. So not very long. And just ran up, not buying, but you know what? We should be able to feel our feelings and express them and relate to each other in them and feel that that's a natural part of being human because it is. And even though her little insert from the funeral, this one friend, said what it said, I do believe that we can do both things. We can cry and we can whatever the other thing was. I don't know where it's at right now. I don't know if it's in the backpack I've been using a lot lately or what. I don't think it is because I was looking at that a bit today. Anyway, I'm just wanting to put the title here. And I do apologize, by the way. I might not be seeing all comments that come in, but hopefully I am, and hopefully they're nice and lovely. I'm not going to roll super long. I, depending, but probably not. I could possibly run upstairs and check on G's laptop to see if I'm missing anything. But I have it open here. I have it open here. So that's the main thing. Um, and as some of you know, I do find healing in different form of connection with those loved ones that have passed. And I'm thankful for that when I do. Um, but I almost had to cry. I almost had to cry for me. Earlier at lunch, at the table, one of the things that came up, I think, in and around uh, the person that they knew, was it said this is the first Christmas that they aren't having with her. I feel like her soul has told me, but she had fun though, bud. Like from where she's at, she still managed to enjoy it with her family. It was obviously different, right? Not in the physical with them, and that's sad, and it doesn't seem fair. But when I think about it for a moment and think back to my day a little bit, that was another reason for it to happen, whether it made it happen or not, because some that have passed away don't get to in the same way, even though they'd want to. So that's, I just wanted to take a moment, we can, if you want to mention your own loved one and, you know, um, include them in this list, you're welcome to. I'm not that old. I'm not that young, but I'm not that old. And I've been through too many passings. Um, and, you know, they, they do and don't ever seem to really get easier, you know? now the computer finally behaves in this place. But I can watch this with you later, I think. I just wanted to see the team names. But I don't want this to play out while I'm doing this. And I am trying to focus. Like I say, you're welcome to add your own loved ones. And if you're able to meet back here tomorrow, again, I can't guarantee that chat's going to work 100%, but it seems to mostly be working. We can also kind of, um, yeah, I did see that one. We can also, go deeper on this. But yes, yeah, I was a little bit surprised that I got, you know, I semi-intentionally, semi-not intentionally, kind of stopped myself from, getting my eyes too wet. Um, because I did. I realized that, you know what? She's in an often better place now, as are the others. Um, you know, made presence known that is doing okay. Um, and even though we'd rather our loved ones be here, isn't that mostly all we could ask for? I mean, yeah, we could hope for, nice messages or whatever, but, and I could not drop the phone. But I tell you, this tripod, I like it when you get it positioned just right, but it bends and moves and isn't always positioned just right. Now, this is really leaning back. That was a very interesting moment I had kind of a little earlier with the Christmas tree. Maybe we'll talk about that more tomorrow. I do and don't want to talk about details, but it'd be nice to see it lit up. It's nice that it's there. There's not a lot on it, really, but wasn't a lot of others either, but it was nice to see some old ornaments I was kind of familiar with, too. Anyway, my throat, my sinuses have been on and off irritating. I've had this metallic feeling in my mouth. But, so I don't want to I want to make sure that I sleep alright. That's weird. It just shows. That's really odd. In the corner next to the like in the viewer, welcome by the way, it shows the dollar sign and then it said CA. I'm guessing that means Canada. That's where I'm at. And the dollar sign and then it just says $0. It's flashing and flickering. And briefly there was somebody there. Now there isn't. So I'm not sure. I've never noticed that. I mean, I'm talking. I don't think the radio is that loud. I don't know if it was saying it was recognizing the radio. I don't know. But yeah, feel free to mention your own loved ones. I don't plan to get deep with this. I want to get to bed somewhat soon, but at the same time, I can sleep in tomorrow. I kind of like to, which sort of means stay up late. So, um, and it's not that I don't want to do this. It is that I have ADHD. It is that I was trying to do something when the computer was being wonky. Now it's kind of behaving. But yeah, like you say, if you have loved ones, angels that in heaven that you'd like to make mention of, and you know, maybe speak to their legacy, speak to the feelings you're having around them today, you're welcome to do that here. Um, But yeah, the radio is a little bit loud. I kind of want to watch this stuff before he comes downstairs, but I'm gonna have to look for something else to watch with him, or we'll just do our own thing, because we have watched some stuff. Although I did make progress, so now I'm okay watching Bob Barker again. Face right. Um, Maybe I'll look for something on here, even though well, it's at 77%, because yeah, I kind of have other things going on here. uh, but yeah, I might do that. I might do that. But even though I could do this tomorrow, I think there's been three. Is this the fourth one? The dog's laying with the thing at his tail and just kind of with the blanket kind of on his face. Um, First one. Might be the fourth one. One, two, three. Yeah, I think it's the fourth. For both. Will Travis. I don't know, but even though they would accept if I didn't, and I feel like I might be missing some now. I was gonna have G do this exercise too, but I didn't. We are managing to have a pretty good day. I don't want to make it otherwise for him, and it's almost bedtime. His sister came up earlier. That's fine. I want to welcome you all in, and I welcome you to participate in this. Whether you say it to yourself, whether you put it in the chats, that to honor them, to speak to their legacy. Um, but what I'm going to do, as I cozy up in the corner here, I both like that the shadow. It's there's a light to this side of me and a light in front of me, and the computer light and the phone light and a candle over here. But it's otherwise. I don't know where this comes from. I guess the street light out there and something it's reflecting on. I think it's cool, but I also do realize it could be distracting. But I can only get as much to the corner as I can get. But you know what's interesting about that? But it's getting closer to being near something else that fits with this nicely. Unlike this tripod, I mean, seriously. Okay, that's fine. I think that's pretty good. Although I'd like it if it was. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, I feel like I'm missing some, but I did an alphabetical list and I filled in as much as I could the other day that I could think of. And so I'm just gonna read off some names. I might say a little bit about them. I might not. Doesn't mean they're any less important. These are my angels that I've lost over the years. Into my 20s and my 30s. Um, and one or two of them, I think, before I was 20. Um, Grandpa's name started with an A, so I put that one there. Clark, Hilda, two Chris's, Golden, Kathy with a C, who tried to get me into the music career, but that person was in the hospital at the time, and then also was not against it, but she was really into religious music only. Eat that. Um, I'm not asking for visits right now, Phone. I don't think I am. Um, Looks like it says Gale, but there is no Gale that I can. So maybe that relates for you. I don't know. Um, or please, it's not all. I don't know what it says. But anyway, the grandparents again. George F. Holly. Janet T. JP and Jason. Most recently, even more recent than the other two, Kathleen. Leanne Lee. Marianne. Mark. Marie. Nikki. Both of them, actually. um, yeah, some people may say I'm doing this with not very much emotion. I'm just tired. It's been a long day. I do. I know that they're living on in a different way. I feel that sometimes strongly, so that's fine with me. You know, sometimes I feel more than other times. It's not that I'm not in touch with the feelings. That I'm like, some people may call it certain things where the emotions are flat. Yeah, that's not me, but in the moment it is, and that's okay. It doesn't always have to be deep and you know those feelings. It can be, as I mentioned earlier, and that's fine. I think there was two and then three people there briefly, but it doesn't have to be. The previous video, actually, I was reminded of one. I don't think he was as old as 67. Maybe he didn't pick his best year and he's 67 now. I don't know. But as go back to that one. And Abby, if she has. Reva, Ray, two Rogers. And I didn't put anything for the rest of the letters, although that might not be accurate. There's also many that I'm thankful it's not. Even though some of them maybe I haven't seen in a while, some of them I have seen recently. Uh, Linda as well. You know what? I've met Linda regular a couple times that way. So I'd say her and Linda G. In fact, I saw somebody with the last name. They misunderstood my both on the other site. They reacted, really. Uh, but I know I intended to look a bit closer and see if, but I don't think I have it open now. But maybe I'll try again. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of did that exercise, and I feel like I flew through them because I have said it a couple times recently. I feel like, man, I don't know why I look so pale. I feel like there's at least 25 angels that have passed away, at least, um, and I don't know if that was 25. Might be at least 15, and maybe that is more accurate. But anyway, so in the comments, you're welcome to as well. It's the dances and flashes. You get used to them, but they're not exactly motivating. Plus, I must admit that if it's not showing some comments that are there, and people are like, they want to engage, they want to interact, they want to feel heard and seen, and I totally get that, and I'm not ignoring them intentionally. Sometimes I'm seeing them, sometimes I'm not, until I wrap up, and then it says there were this many. It's like, I didn't count that many. I really don't know what's going on. But all I can say is that, like say, if you put the comments after it's posted, I'm more likely to see it. Um, and I will reply. Um, so, yeah, I invite folks to do that. I was just going to very quickly look at kind of what I was alluding to earlier, just because I'd like to know whether I've made some progress with that. Um, I do feel that this one read. I don't know for sure, but I think she has passed. I think she has. Um, and if she's not, you know what? I've met people of various ages and lost people of various ages. I believe that it's true that she probably is, uh, maybe in an old person's home, and possibly has Alzheimer's and that. I was with a near Guinness record dog today. It's not doing very well, but is old. Um, and yeah, I also just want to say whether you've celebrated it for the as the holidays or just gotten through the day, I hope you've had a good one and you left. I'm going to ask for particulars next, just out of pure curiosity. Anything you might want to share, and you can still do that, like I say, in the comments as well. Um, but yeah, the radio is a bit louder than I thought, and although this is just simply not monetized, that's fine. I haven't really done anything really in this one. But the other thing is that G. I guess it's just the lighting, which is not super bright and it's usual. I don't know why it looks so bright. I guess I haven't really been looking something otherwise, so maybe I am becoming a ghost of spirit. Yeah, I'm on the way there. Aren't we all though, right? But yeah, G in the GNC is back at work. I think he said Monday, his favorite day. Doesn't feel like his holidays are very long. He did have Monday and Tuesday off last week, and then I think the weekend after that we might bring the dog in. Although the person there made it a bit awkward. I'm really surprised to remember us. And thing, but we didn't mean to send that text out either. But yeah, um, and then he was back Wednesday, Thursday. No, just Wednesday actually. Thursday is today, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, it's Christmas. And then Friday, and then obviously the weekend. Well, not obviously, but he doesn't work the weekend. And then, yeah, I believe he's back Monday. I don't know. For some reason, that feels like less days for this time of year, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Anyway, like I say, it's not exactly motivating because, I mean, like I say, sometimes they are showing, and like someone will put a few and I'll see them. But sometimes they're not, and it's just like I worry if I keep rolling. Well, like I said, I want to be able to sleep and not make my sinuses too sore. It's been a long day. It's been tiring. I have managed to post. So that's good enough for me, I think. And then for today. And then the other thing, too, is like I said, I don't want to necessarily miss chats that I might miss. So I'm going to do some other stuff now and say, have a good day, good evening. And just looking for, uh, must be this one, eh? I'm not so sure, is it? I don't know. But anyway, I'm just kind of trying to find the the tab that I want to have open on here for there. But I didn't do it yet. I didn't. I kind of want to do something just a little bit more, um, essentially or specifically, which is it might even be this one. Uh, Yeah, I think it is. Just take a very quick minute. Like I say, it's not monetized because in the radio's on, so it's fine. Just take a quick moment. You know, which you may have been doing all day. Maybe you haven't let yourself do it yet. Maybe it's the day after Christmas where you live. You know, you can pause this moment as long as you feel you need to. If you feel, let me know. If you, part of me feels like I should need to do this. Part of me feels like I don't. But I'll do it for, as Grace would say, your people and mine who have passed, and just gonna take a moment to remember them. And I'm not loving. I don't know your people really that have passed, and like I say, I feel they're always with me in spirit, and I, even don't feel like I need to do the practice, but nothing else for now to know that they are okay and in a better place is very comforting, and I hope that you can realize that too. Now, I would like to do a few other things before G gets downstairs, and so again, this is just a moment for our loved ones who have passed away, yours, mine, and that's. I mean, not them doing it for the likes, but there was somebody here for that moment, and oh, maybe this is a weird idea. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm doing it for mine too, and since I, I'm a content creator, this just it felt right to do it here, and if I'm gonna do it for mine, why wouldn't I do it for yours, right? But I don't know what to think about yours. Most likely till I meet them in a way, and I do this with my candles right now. I've been burning lately, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah. I don't need to prolong it. Any of us know that when we've lost loved ones, that some of us more than others. I mean, if we were really closely connected or we lived with them, and then the house is, you know, emptier and quieter, um, you know, uh, but I do feel, and I don't mean to minimize anybody at all and their feelings, but I've never been one that has said, I think of them every moment of every day. I just don't think that's accurate. I don't feel like, I'm very literal sometimes, which is why I don't understand why Ray would sing certain songs, you know, um, because she was definitely very much loved, led with love. And so to think that, she said something about being in love for the first time. I knew two of her partners, and this and that. You know, it's just there's so many things that can you know occupy our days and our thoughts and this and that. And so it really isn't accurate for any of us. But that doesn't mean it's not a lot, and it doesn't mean that the person isn't important, and it doesn't mean that I'm not I'm not invalid. It doesn't mean that your feelings aren't important. That's basically what I'm saying. So, but like as far as talking about, oh, what if we trigger somebody talking with our feelings or talking about loved ones that have passed away? You know what? Anybody who has related to losing that person, they may or may not have been close to them, very well could be having already thinking of them and having feelings. So you're not sparing. You're not. And so, but just on this Christmas Day, it felt right to take a moment to do this. For me, I've lost so many that I can't even. Yes, I know what it's like, but I don't have to know what it's like. I hope I don't know what it's like much more anytime soon. It's like, let's bring the goodness for each other. Let's bring the healing, the love, and the hope. And yeah, but it's like I'm flooded with, I guess you could say, in a lot of ways, a sense of peace, but also a sense of sadness and overwhelm. It's almost as if I don't know what to feel. I'm just numb to it because it's just been so many years of it, you know, and it's kind of just like you come to accept it, even though it doesn't mean you like it, but you come to accept that loved ones will pass away, and you got to keep trying to keep on in their honor, right? Again, if you're putting comments, I will see them afterwards. If you put them afterwards, the live chat, they may or may not be showing. It's just the way it's being lately. Some people's chat seems to be working, but I have, I think, heard that some people's isn't right now. But yes, you can put comments in the comments. There was someone who looked like they almost were going to stay for a bit. But I really am. I'm going to wrap up. Um, and I'll just say anything to me a little bit. But at this point, I'm just repeating myself. I'm not doing the things that I want to do before G gets downstairs, which, I want to later. I want to work my way through it. There's actually 3 more videos I still want to watch, and then I guess I wouldn't mind trying to find something else to watch with him. So, um, um, yeah, I hope that yeah. Be curious to know who gave that a like. It's the mysterious thumbs up. But it's nice that it got them, and then the one under that, 3 and 2 and 2 and 3. Just kidding. And then you got two of you here. So yeah, this video has been just a recap, and if you'd like to watch it back, it's one of my shorter ones. Okay, you left, so I'm not going to worry too much about that, I don't think. But where is the... But yeah, and with the longer ones, you watch as much as you can. A little at a time, just a little, all at once. The choice is yours as far as that goes. See how you feel as you're watching them, I guess. And if one video, it's like, maybe another one would be like, yeah, actually, I'm kind of liking this one, though. You know, I don't know. Just a thought. Just a thought that I'm having here. But what was the other thing? Oh, right. I was doing that, which I thought it was in the. Okay. Yeah, right. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I would like to. Yeah. So, but for the person that just tuned in, the recap of this, in case you're not seeing the title, well, I put it there. Yeah, it didn't get super deep. It was special, symbolic, I guess I would say, honoring. Um, um, Not that, it's okay if things get deep. If you feel sometimes, but they don't necessarily have to. So for me, this was more of just an honoring and a acknowledging, and being there for myself, in their memory as well, and for you. It's been a bit quiet. There's been a little bit of dancing along the top, but that's okay. Anyway, I did just remember something else though, so I'm going to focus on that now as well. And yeah, take care, everybody. I don't know when or what tomorrow's topic would be, or if I'll skip tomorrow and come back the next day. But yeah, always gonna put that suggestion out there too. It doesn't have to be well live, because then, we can do it our next live and then you can catch it, when you're able to. But like song suggestions, still kind of holiday music season, but almost anything but for metal, and we can do jazz or blues fusion, but otherwise we don't do a lot of that. But almost everything else, we don't know every song, of course, but every other genre, I would say, pretty much. And the difference between hard rock and metal, by the way, there is one. And yeah, we do know a lot of songs, and we're happy to learn songs. We might not be able to play them right away if we don't know them, but so do feel free to make suggestions and get us doing music together while he's not having to be at work, and keeping me at it. And especially important because even though, like I say, I will always be able to sing, most likely, um, I'm not too sure how much longer my arthritis and my neuropathy is going to let me play guitar or piano, and that's just unfortunately the truth. So I'm hoping for a long while still, but like I say, it's gotten a bit worse, so I'm not sure. Um, and I also want to make the most of it while I can now, as I can now, for that reason. So, yes, song requests, because, I was given the ability, as I've been going through life and as I was growing up, I was given the ability to play guitar and piano. You know, may not be as good as my singing, but it's decent, I think. I don't know, So I should do that too, right? Anyway, enough about me. Bye for now. Have a good day. Good evening. Not sure when you'll see this, so but yeah, I know that this time of year can be very hard for a lot of people. But it can also be very special, and we can find the special. we can make the special. So we can order the special. Take ourselves out for a meal, perhaps, And I look forward to hearing from you. Okay.